I think I met her in a dream. That's how Daniel began his story, his voice trembling, his eyes staring past the camera like he was still halfway between reality and something else. Daniel was a 32-year-old paramedic, tough, seasoned, the kind of guy who'd seen more tragedy than most people could imagine. His shifts were long, chaotic, and often heartbreaking, but he never let it show. People around him described him as unshakable, a quiet rock in the middle of emergencies. But that night, something shook him to the core. It had been a brutal 2-day stretch. No rest, no real meals, just one emergency after another. Car crashes, a house fire, an overdose that hit a little too close to home. When Daniel finally got back to his small apartment, he didn't even make it to the shower. He just collapsed on the couch in his uniform, still wearing his boots. As soon as his eyes closed, he was gone. But instead of the usual restless dreams, sirens, flashing lights, blood, this one felt different, more vivid, more silent. In the dream, Daniel wasn't on the job. He wasn't helping anyone. He was lying in a hospital bed, the thin white sheets tucked over his chest. Beeping monitors surrounded him, and fluorescent lights buzzed overhead. But strangely, the air felt peaceful. It took him a moment to realize he wasn't the rescuer here. He was the one needing help. Then he noticed her. A woman sat at his bedside, late 30s maybe, wearing a pale blue nurse's uniform. Her hair was pinned back neatly, and a silver name badge hung from her pocket, but the name was too blurry to read. She wasn't doing anything medical. No clipboard, no rushing around like nurses usually do in his world. She was just there, present, still. She held his hand, and her skin was warm, comforting. He tried to speak, but no words came out. She looked straight into his eyes and leaned closer. Then, in the softest voice he'd ever heard, she said, "Your heart is tired, but not done." Daniel froze. What did that mean? Then she whispered again, slower this time. "Please, don't ignore the pain anymore." There was no panic in her voice, no urgency, just pure compassion. But behind her calm words, something deeper echoed, like a warning or a plea. Daniel tried to ask her who she was. Why was she there? Was she real? But before he could speak, she reached up and gently touched his forehead, as if giving a blessing. And with a small, bittersweet smile and tears glistening in her eyes, she said one last thing. "I'm watching over you." Then the lights in the dream began to dim. The monitors faded. Her face softened and blurred, and Daniel woke up with a start. His heart was pounding, hard. He sat up, gasping, drenched in sweat. It was 3:12 a.m. The dream had felt real. Not like a memory, but like a visit, like she had been there. Daniel looked around his dark room, disoriented. No beeping machines, no glowing nurse, just the silence. But that voice, the calm urgency in her whisper, still echoed in his mind. He placed his hand on his chest. There was again that tightness, that dull, annoying pressure he'd been ignoring for weeks. As a paramedic, he knew the signs, but like many caregivers, he always put others first. He'd told himself it was stress, caffeine, fatigue, nothing serious. But now he wasn't so sure. That dream wasn't just a dream. Something, or someone, was trying to tell him something. And in his gut, Daniel knew. If he didn't listen soon, he might not get another chance. Would you like me to continue with the next section at a similar expanded depth?